Hey everyone, it is Mr. Fernandez coming at you on our second day of March break, our 3 week long March break. And here you go, here's Miss Maybe. You gonna look at the camera? Yeah, give them a gorgeous face. Oh, there she is. So beautiful. So beautiful. Uh, so a lot of things have changed since we've gone on March break, and that's why I wanted to make this video. I wanted to explain some of the words that we're hearing and to let you know what is happening in a way that might be more accessible to you. So, first things first, we are in what's called a state of emergency. What is a state of emergency, and should we be scared? The answer is no. We should not be scared. And the reason for that is a state of emergency is called when a government needs more power to fix things. This is normal. It doesn't happen often. This is only the third time in Ontario's history, but it does happen. And what it allows the government to do is it allows the government to make decisions a lot faster than normally would be able to. Also, it gives the government access to more money, which is good when we're dealing with a crisis like this, and we need people to be working on the front lines while you have to pay them. And as for the state of emergency, it sounds scary, and I know you're going to be scared, and that's okay. It is okay to feel scared, to be nervous right now, but you don't have to feel that way. And that's the important thing to remember, is that a state of emergency is a way for the government to make the changes that are necessary. Does it have a really big impact on you right now? Probably not. But it might, and it's for good reason that it will. Now, how did we come to this part where we're declaring a state of emergency? Our government officials are elected members of parliament, so Mr. Trudeau, Mr. Ford, even Mr. Watson. These people are not working alone. All of their decisions are being made on the advice of experts. So the City of Ottawa has their own chief doctor. The province of Ontario has their own chief doctor. And the country of Canada has its own chief doctor. And each of those doctors are working with our politicians to let them know what should or should not be happening. And that's how they're making their decisions. That is also why you'll see a government say, no, we don't need to do this right now. So, for example, closing the bars or the restaurants. And then 4 hours later, it changes its mind. And that's because the medical field is saying this is the change that needs to happen right now. And so the politicians will act on it. It's not out of necessarily incompetence or not understanding the situation. It's just that it changes, and it changes fairly quickly. Something else that you're going to be hearing a lot about is called flattening the curve. What is this curve? I don't see a curve. Who is this curve we speak of? So the curve is the number of cases that Canada currently has, which that total stands at about 350. And so since the virus has come to Canada, it's done this and has gone up. So just like an exponential equation or one side of the parabola. That's about the extent of the math references that I will make. And so what the government wants is for us to go up and then for it to flatten. So no more new cases. Is that going to happen soon? Absolutely not. And that's almost a good thing because it means that we're testing people more and more. Canada has done about 35,000 tests on people to make sure they don't have the COVID-19 virus, and we only have 350 cases. That's not a bad turnout, but they are expecting a lot more because some people aren't really showing that they're actually sick. And that's not a bad thing. That means that they are healthy, but it means that the virus will continue to spread. And that's why the government has asked us to stay in our homes and only go out when absolutely necessary. They want to see if it's going to spread further in other communities, and the virus in healthy people usually only lasts 2 to 3 weeks. But so that flattening of the curve, that's what the long-term goal is. And the only way we can get to that is by knowing who actually has it. We currently have 4 deaths related to COVID-19, so again, not a very high number, and that speaks to our healthcare system. So just bear all that in mind. You're going to hear a lot of scary things, but the big part I want you to take away is that this virus is not, I repeat, it is not a death sentence at all. China has currently reached, I think, about 70,000 cases that are fully recovered. And kudos to the country of China for actually holding back this virus as long as it was. It certainly made a big difference for the countries around the world. That's why Canada is restricting foreign travel and foreign entry, though if you're a Canadian citizen, a permanent resident, or an immediate member of the family, so if you're a child, then your parents, but if they're not Canadian citizens and you are, then they can come into Canada, because each country needs to deal with the people in their borders before they then leave. And that's why we have those restrictions, and that's what the state of the emergency does. It allows the governments to work very, very closely with each other. So hopefully this video has helped explain some things. Try and find the positive in a lot of it, because the news, as we know, loves a good story, and this is a very good story right now. So you're not going to hear a whole lot else other than COVID-19, but I encourage you to live your life as normally as possible. Don't sit in silence. If you have texting, if you have Instagram, talk to people, talk to your friends, see how they're doing. I don't really know how you can play a board game, but I mean, maybe FaceTime board game that way. I don't know. But go as normal as possible, because that will help pass the time and it will make the situation seem less scary. If you have any other questions related to it, don't hesitate to reach out to someone that you trust, because there's a lot of news, but our information is coming from health officials, so it should be taken as mostly correct. CBC is a good source because it is our public news broadcaster, so I encourage you to check out there if you want to find out more information. I hope your March break is going well. If things change dramatically, I will try to make another video to explain things. So have a great one for now. Bye.